Ladies and gentlemen, spiritual awakening is often described as a profound shift in consciousness, a moment or period when you begin to perceive life with heightened awareness and deeper understanding. It can feel like waking up from a long sleep, suddenly seeing things in a new light. If you feel this, you are entering a new spiritual level. This experience is deeply personal and unique for everyone, yet it carries similar emotions: clarity, disorientation, peace, and transformation all at once. When you begin to spiritually awaken, the things that once satisfied you may start to lose their appeal. Superficial goals, shallow relationships, or empty routines no longer fulfill you. Instead, you start yearning for meaning, connection, and truth. This is not a sign of dissatisfaction, but rather an indication that your soul is calling you to rise higher. You begin to question who you are beyond your identity, your job, or your roles in society. This internal questioning is one of the first signs that your vibration is increasing. During this process, your inner world becomes louder than the external one. You may find yourself drawn to solid introspection or spiritual practices such as meditation, journaling, or nature walks. These aren't just hobbies. They are soul-level responses to a shift within you. Your intuition sharpens, and you begin to feel more connected to a divine source. Whether you call it God, the universe, or your higher self, you may start noticing synchronicities, like meaningful coincidences or repeated signs and numbers, which act as gentle affirmations from the universe that you're on the right path. Another key feeling during a spiritual awakening is emotional purging. As your frequency rises, old wounds, traumas, and patterns come to the surface. This can be painful and confusing, but it is also necessary. These emotions are being released to make space for higher vibrations of love, joy, and peace. Letting go of these emotional blocks is a powerful part of stepping into a new spiritual level. It's like clearing out clutter so your soul can breathe freely and expand. As you continue to awaken, your perspective on life shifts dramatically. You no longer see life as something happening to you, but rather as something happening through you. You begin to understand the power of your thoughts, emotions, and intentions in shaping your reality. This awareness fosters personal responsibility and empowers you to live with greater purpose and alignment. The external chaos of the world may remain, but your inner world becomes calmer, more resilient, and rooted in a higher truth. Relationships also undergo a transformation during spiritual awakening. You may naturally drift away from people who no longer align with your energy. This can be lonely, but it's also a sacred clearing to make room for soul-aligned connections. You become more discerning, choosing relationships that support your growth, peace, and authenticity. And you may attract others who are also walking a spiritual path, creating deeper, more meaningful bonds. Ultimately, spiritual awakening is a return to your true self. It is not about becoming someone new, but remembering who've always been beneath the layers of fear, conditioning, and societal expectations. It's a homecoming of the soul, a profound realization that you are whole, connected, and guided. If you feel this shift, embrace it. You are not lost, you are being found. This is what it feels like to a new spiritual level: discomfort paired with clarity, endings followed by beginnings, and a quiet knowing that you are awakening to something extraordinary within you. Higher consciousness is a state of expanded awareness, where your perception of yourself and the world begins to shift beyond the material and into the spiritual. If you're feeling a deep inner pull, a sense that something inside you is awakening, or you're questioning everything you once accepted as truth, it's likely you're entering a new spiritual level. And one of the clearest signs is the emergence of higher consciousness. This state is not about becoming better or above others. It's about becoming more aligned with your authentic self and the universal truth. When your consciousness begins to expand, you start to see through illusions, false narratives, ego-driven desires, and societal expectations that once dictated your actions. You begin to feel detached from things that used to matter so much. The noise of the outer world dims, and you're drawn inward, listening more deeply to your inner voice, your intuition, and subtle spiritual nudges. This is not confusion, it's clarity arriving in a new, unfamiliar form. As your consciousness rises, your awareness extends beyond the physical five senses. You begin to understand that everything is energy, including thoughts, emotions, and intentions. You sense that your experiences are deeply interconnected with your inner state. Life no longer feels like a series of random events, but rather a mirror reflecting your vibration, mindset, and spiritual alignment. This realization fosters both personal responsibility and spiritual humility. You understand that you are not separate from the universe. You are an expression of it. One of the most profound shifts in higher consciousness is how you view pain and challenges. Rather than seeing them as punishments or setbacks, you begin to recognize them as catalysts for growth and expansion. Your relationship with suffering changes. You start asking different questions, like, what is this teaching me? Or how is this helping me evolve? This doesn't make pain disappear, but it transforms how you hold it. Pain becomes a portal, not a prison. Another sign of higher consciousness is the pull toward compassion, unity, and service. Your heart opens wider. You begin to feel the suffering of others as if it were your own, and your ego softens. Empathy deepens, and you feel inspired to contribute positively to the lives of others. Not from obligation, but from a natural, soul-level desire. Acts of kindness and love feel more meaningful than material success or external validation. You may also notice your priorities change. Where you once chased achievements or possessions, you now seek peace, purpose, and presence. Stillness becomes a sanctuary. Silence becomes sacred. The more time you spend in this space of higher consciousness, the more you begin to live in alignment with your values, your truth, and the divine intelligence guiding all things. Physical symptoms can also accompany this shift. You may experience fatigue, vivid dreams, bursts of creativity, or even moments of anxiety or disorientation. These are not signs that something is wrong. They are your system adjusting to a new frequency. Your body is recalibrating to hold more light, more awareness, more spiritual energy. It's like updating the software of your soul. Ultimately, entering higher consciousness doesn't mean you're finished. It means you've just begun. It is the threshold of a new way of being, a deeper relationship with life, and a sacred unfolding of who you really are. If you're feeling this shift, trust it. You're being invited into a space where peace is your power, awareness is your guide, and love is your essence. Welcome to the next level of your spiritual journey. An energy shift is one of the most telling signs that you're entering a new spiritual level. It can be subtle at first, a sense that something in your life feels different or more intensely felt, even though nothing external has changed. This shift marks the beginning of a deeper connection to your inner self, your soul, and the greater spiritual forces that guide your path. You might begin to notice that your energy feels more sensitive. Places, people, and situations that once seemed fine now feel heavy or draining. On the other hand, certain environments or conversations can suddenly feel uplifting, soothing, and almost magnetic. This happens because your vibrational frequency is changing. As your spirit elevates, your body and emotions begin to reject anything that is no longer aligned with your higher path. The discomfort isn't something to fear. It's your internal compass realigning, pointing you toward what's authentic and away from what no longer serves you. An energy shift often brings emotional waves with it. You might cry without understanding why. Old memories surface, wounds you thought were healed may reopen, and feelings you've suppressed for years could rise to the surface. This is not regression, it's release. You are clearing old energy, outdated stories, and limiting beliefs that no longer resonate with your evolving consciousness. The deeper you allow yourself to feel, the more space you create for light, peace, and clarity to enter. Your relationships may begin to transform too. People who matched your old energy may begin to drift away, while new connections, ones that feel more soul-aligned, may appear almost out of nowhere. These changes can be painful or confusing, but they are necessary. As your energy shifts, the universe responds by rearranging your outer world to match your inner transformation. Letting go becomes an act of trust rather than loss. You begin to see that everything that leaves is making room for something more aligned to enter. You may also experience heightened intuition during an energy shift. You just know things without evidence. You're drawn to certain books, messages, symbols, or teachings that seem to find you at exactly the right moment. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. Your soul is speaking louder now, guiding you with signs and synchronicities. You feel a stronger connection to your inner guidance, and begin to rely more on your own knowing rather than external validation. Physical sensations are common during an energy shift. You may feel tingling in your body, heat in your hands or head, or spontaneous waves of fatigue or restlessness. Your sleep may be disrupted with vivid dreams or wake-ups at specific times like 3 a.m., often called the spiritual hour. Your body is adjusting to new energetic frequencies, and while this can feel uncomfortable, it's also a sign of deep internal transformation. Grounding practices like meditation, nature walks, or journaling can help you integrate these changes more smoothly. Another powerful aspect of an energy shift is the deep sense of purpose and presence. Things that once felt meaningless begin to take on new depth. Simple moments, watching a sunset, listening to music, feeling your breath, can become profoundly moving. You start to live less from the mind and more from the heart. Instead of chasing fulfillment, you find it within. This is the sacred space where true spiritual awakening takes root. If you're feeling this shift, you are not going crazy, you are waking up. The world may look the same, but you're no longer seeing it from the same level of awareness. You are tuning into a higher frequency, entering a space where love, peace, and authenticity guide your every step. Honor this shift, nurture it, trust it. You are becoming more of who you truly are, and that is the essence of spiritual evolution. Intuition is one of the most powerful indicators that you are entering a new spiritual level. It's that quiet inner voice, the subtle knowing that doesn't rely on logic or external evidence. When your intuition begins to grow stronger and more consistent, it's a clear sign that your spiritual awareness is expanding and that you're becoming more aligned with your higher self. You may notice that you start to just know things before they happen. It could be a gut feeling about a person's true intentions, an inner nudge to take a different path, or a sudden realization that leads to clarity in a confusing situation. These intuitive hits aren't coincidences. They are messages from a deeper, wiser part of you that is becoming more active as your spiritual journey unfolds. The more you listen to and trust these inner signals, the more guidance you receive, and the stronger your connection becomes. Intuition also begins to show up in your relationships. You might find yourself sensing people's emotions more deeply, even if they haven't said a word. You can feel when someone's energy is off, or when a situation just doesn't sit right with you. This heightened sensitivity is not to be feared. It is a gift. Your intuition is acting as an energetic filter, helping you navigate the world with greater clarity and protection. You're no longer relying solely on words and appearances. You're feeling the truth beneath the surface. As you rise to a new spiritual level, you begin to trust your inner guidance more than external opinions. You stop seeking validation from others and instead turn inward for answers. This shift in reliance marks a major milestone in your spiritual development. You realize that you already have access to wisdom, truth, and direction within yourself. The noise of the outside world becomes less influential, and the quiet wisdom of your soul becomes your compass. Often, your intuition will lead you to unexpected changes. You may be called to leave relationships, jobs, or environments that no longer align with your spirit. At first, this can feel disruptive or even frightening. But there's also a deep sense of peace that follows when you act on your intuition. It's as if a weight lifts and the path forward becomes clearer. Intuitive decisions may not always make sense to others, but they make perfect sense to you. And they always lead to growth, healing, or freedom. Dreams may also become more vivid during this spiritual shift. Your subconscious mind starts to communicate in powerful symbols, scenarios, or messages. You may even receive insights or guidance in your dreams that help you navigate your waking life. This is your intuition working through different layers of consciousness, showing you that there is more to life than what can be seen or measured. The more you honor your intuition, the more it strengthens. You begin to see synchronicities, those coincidences, that align perfectly with your thoughts or feelings. You think about someone and they call. You wonder about a topic and suddenly a book or video about it appears. These are not random events. They are confirmations that you are in tune with a greater flow, one that is guiding you through your intuitive awareness. Ultimately, intuition is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. It's how your soul speaks to you in the language of feelings, impressions, and inner knowing. As you enter a higher spiritual level, your intuition becomes not just a tool but a way of life. You begin to live more consciously, with deeper purpose and greater harmony. You trust yourself more fully. You realize that you are not alone on this path. You are always being guided, always supported, and always connected to something greater through the quiet, powerful voice within. Inner peace is one of the most profound and unmistakable signs that you're entering a new spiritual level. It's not just the absence of conflict or stress. It's a deep, unwavering calm that remains steady even when life becomes chaotic. When you begin to feel this kind of peace from within, independent of circumstances, it's a powerful indication that you're evolving spiritually. This shift usually doesn't happen all at once. It begins subtly, like realizing that things which used to upset you no longer carry the same emotional weight. You may find yourself less reactive, more reflective. Where you once would have argued, now you stay quiet, not out of defeat, but because you understand that peace is more valuable than being right. This change is not weakness, it's wisdom. It shows that you're no longer driven by ego or the need to prove something. You're starting to align with your higher self, and with that comes serenity. As you move deeper into this new level of consciousness, you stop resisting life. You begin to accept people, situations, and yourself as they are. Acceptance doesn't mean you agree with everything or that you settle for less. It means you stop wasting energy fighting against reality. Inner peace grows in the space between surrender and clarity. You understand that everything happens for a reason, and even the painful moments carry hidden lessons meant for your growth. This realization softens your heart and quiets your mind. One of the clearest signs of spiritual advancement is your ability to sit with silence without feeling uncomfortable. You no longer need constant distraction or noise to feel okay. Instead, you crave stillness. Silence becomes a sacred space where you reconnect with yourself and listen to your inner truth. This desire for solitude isn't about isolating. It's about recalibrating. When you reach this state, your energy starts to settle, and you can hear the gentle guidance of your soul more clearly. Inner peace also shows itself through detachment, not in a cold or distant way, but in a healthy, balanced manner. You begin to let go of your need to control everything. You trust that life is unfolding as it should. You stop holding on to people who drain you or situations that no longer serve your well-being. Instead of clinging out of fear, you release with love. This kind of detachment doesn't numb your feelings. It actually deepens your ability to love. Because you're no longer loving from need or desperation, but from wholeness. Another profound effect of inner peace is how it changes your relationships. As you become more centered, you naturally attract people who mirror that same vibration. You no longer chase connections out of loneliness or a desire for validation. You choose relationships that bring harmony and depth, not chaos and confusion. You also stop engaging in drama, gossip, or toxic cycles. Peace becomes your boundary, your filter, and your standard. In this new spiritual level, gratitude becomes your natural state. You find joy in the small, ordinary moments: sunlight streaming through your window, the sound of birds in the morning, a deep conversation with a friend. You don't need grand experiences to feel alive. Every breath, every heartbeat feels like a gift. And that gratitude only deepens your peace. Ultimately, inner peace is the foundation of spiritual maturity. It doesn't mean life is perfect or that challenges disappear. It means you've developed the inner strength to stay grounded, no matter what. You begin to live with a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you can handle it with grace. This kind of peace is rare, powerful, and magnetic. When you feel it, you'll know you've stepped into a higher level of awareness, and there's no turning back. Divine alignment is one of the most powerful and transformative signs that you're stepping into a new spiritual level. It's the experience of feeling in tune with the greater flow of life, where your thoughts, actions, and intentions begin to harmonize with a higher purpose. This isn't just about religion or following specific spiritual rules. It's about feeling deeply connected to something greater than yourself, and recognizing that your path is being guided by an unseen intelligence that always has your highest good in mind. When you begin to experience divine alignment, life feels less like a struggle and more like a dance. You start noticing synchronicities, moments when things fall into place in ways that are too perfect to be coincidences. You might think of someone and they suddenly reach out. Opportunities show up at the exact right time. Answers to questions you've been holding in your heart begin to reveal themselves through unexpected channels. These moments aren't accidents. They're confirmations that you're in sync with divine timing. One of the clearest signs of divine alignment is the deep sense of trust that begins to bloom within you. Instead of constantly worrying, over-planning, or trying to control every detail of your life, you begin to relax into a state of surrender. You understand that you're not alone in your journey, and that something larger is orchestrating events in your favor, even when you can't yet see the full picture. This trust doesn't make you passive, it empowers you to take inspired action, knowing you're being supported by something beyond logic. Divine alignment also brings clarity. The confusion that once clouded your decisions starts to lift. You know what to say, where to go, and who to connect with. Not because someone tells you, but because you can feel it. It's like you've tuned into a frequency that gives you access to inner wisdom. Your intuition sharpens, and you begin to navigate life from a place of inner knowing rather than fear or external pressure. As you align with the divine, your values begin to shift. You start letting go of things that no longer serve your soul. Relationships, habits, goals that were rooted in ego or insecurity. You no longer feel the need to chase validation or prove your worth. Instead, you are driven by a desire to be in integrity with your truth. Your actions begin to reflect your highest self, and with that comes a sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment that material things or superficial success can never give. Another powerful indicator of divine alignment is the way you respond to challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" You see obstacles not as punishments, but as invitations to grow, to trust, and to evolve. Even in pain, you sense purpose. Even in uncertainty, you feel held. This shift in perception transforms your entire relationship with life. Divine alignment also amplifies your ability to serve others. You become a vessel for light, love, and healing, not by forcing it, but simply by being who you truly are. Your presence begins to uplift others. You speak words that people need to hear. You radiate a calmness that others are drawn to, and the more you give from a genuine place, the more abundance flows back to you, not just financially but emotionally and spiritually. Ultimately, divine alignment is about coming home to yourself and to the source of all creation. It's remembering who you truly are beneath the noise, the trauma, and the programming. It's about living in harmony with your soul's mission and trusting that every step, even the painful ones, is part of a beautiful unfolding. When you feel this shift, when your life starts flowing with ease and meaning, when your heart feels guided even in the dark, you'll know you've entered a new spiritual level. Soul expansion is a profound and unmistakable experience that signifies you're entering a new spiritual level. It's not just a shift in mindset or an emotional breakthrough. It's a deep, energetic transformation that touches every aspect of who you are. When your soul begins to expand, you start perceiving the world, yourself, and your purpose from a much broader, more compassionate, and spiritually connected perspective. One of the first signs of soul expansion is the dissolving of limitations. You begin to sense that the boxes you once lived in, your beliefs, your fears, your need for control, are too small to contain the truth of who you are. You feel a longing to stretch beyond those boundaries, to explore life more deeply, and to understand the mysteries that once felt unreachable. This inner urging is your soul waking up, asking you to live more fully and authentically. As your soul expands, your capacity for empathy and love increases. You begin to feel the emotions of others more deeply, but not in a way that overwhelms you. Instead, it connects you to a greater sense of unity. You start to recognize the divine in everyone and everything. Judgments soften, forgiveness comes more naturally, and you find yourself drawn to people, ideas, and environments that reflect your evolving vibration. This isn't about being perfect or always positive. It's about becoming more real, more grounded, and more in tune with your higher self. You also start to notice a deepening of your inner wisdom. Answers come from within rather than from outside sources. You no longer need constant validation or approval because you trust your own voice. You know when something aligns with your spirit, and you're no longer willing to compromise that alignment for temporary comfort or acceptance. This is a powerful moment, because it marks the beginning of living with integrity, where your thoughts, emotions, and actions reflect your true essence. With soul expansion comes a greater connection to your purpose. You might not have all the answers, but you feel drawn towards certain paths, ideas, or missions with a sense of clarity you didn't have before. This guidance isn't forced. It feels natural, like a magnetic pull towards something meaningful. Whether it's creating, teaching, healing, or simply being present with love, your soul is now directing your life in ways that feel both powerful and peaceful. Another profound aspect of soul expansion is your relationship with pain and challenge. Rather than resisting discomfort, you begin to see it as a tool for growth. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, you ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in perspective turns suffering into transformation. Every breakdown becomes a breakthrough. Every wound becomes a doorway to deeper self-awareness and compassion. There is also a noticeable change in your energy. You radiate differently. People may start telling you that they feel calm or inspired just by being around you. You attract what aligns and repel what doesn't, effortlessly. That's not coincidence, it's a reflection of your expanded frequency. You're no longer operating from scarcity or fear, but from abundance and trust. This shift draws in relationships, opportunities, and experiences that match your higher vibration. In moments of stillness, you might feel a profound sense of oneness, like you are part of something eternal, something sacred. This isn't an intellectual realization, but a felt experience. You understand, even without words, that you are a soul having a human experience, and that your presence on this planet is both purposeful and divinely guided. Soul expansion is not a one-time event, it's a continuous unfolding. But once it begins, your life will never be the same. You can't unsee the truth, and you won't want to. Because in this expansion you discover who you truly are, limitless, luminous, and deeply connected to the infinite. And that is how you know you are entering a new spiritual level. Experiencing a vibrational upgrade is a powerful indication that you are stepping into a new spiritual level. This shift is not always immediately obvious but can manifest in subtle and profound ways, signaling that your energy frequency is rising to match a higher state of being. When your vibration increases, it transforms your perception, emotions, thoughts, and overall experience of life, guiding you toward deeper spiritual awareness and growth. A vibrational upgrade often begins with a heightened sensitivity to energy, your own and that of the world around you. You might notice that your emotions are more intense, or that you react differently to situations and people than before. This heightened sensitivity is a sign that your energy field is expanding and becoming more refined. You become more aware of energies that previously went unnoticed. Whether it's feeling discomfort in toxic environments or sensing the presence of positive influences, this attunement is a clear sign that your vibration is shifting upwards. Alongside this increased sensitivity, you may find yourself drawn to new practices or habits that nurture your higher self. Meditation, mindfulness, journaling, or spending more time in nature can suddenly feel essential rather than optional. These practices help you align with your upgraded vibration, supporting the integration of new energies and insights. They provide space for self-reflection and help you navigate the sometimes overwhelming feelings that come with spiritual growth. Another hallmark of a vibrational upgrade is the transformation of your thought patterns. You may notice that negative or limiting beliefs that once dominated your mind lose their power. Instead of spiraling into fear or doubt, you find yourself cultivating a mindset rooted in possibility, love, and trust. This doesn't mean that challenges disappear, but your approach to them shifts. You're more resilient, optimistic, and capable of seeing lessons within difficulties. This mental clarity is a direct result of your elevated energy state. Your relationships also undergo change during a vibrational upgrade. People who resonate with your new frequency will naturally gravitate toward you, while those who drain your energy or no longer align with your growth might drift away. This process can be both liberating and challenging, as it often requires you to let go of familiar connections that no longer serve your highest good. However, these shifts open the door for more authentic, supportive, and spiritually aligned relationships to enter your life. Physical sensations can also accompany a vibrational upgrade. Many people report feeling waves of warmth, tingling, or lightness throughout their bodies. Sometimes, there are periods of fatigue or emotional release as your system recalibrates to accommodate higher frequencies. These physical experiences, while sometimes uncomfortable, are signs that your body is adapting to your evolving spiritual state. A vibrational upgrade can lead to a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in life. You may feel called to pursue paths that align with your soul's mission. Whether that's through creative expression, healing work, teaching, or simply living more authentically, this clarity about your life's direction is a profound gift of raising your vibration, as it allows you to move forward with intention and confidence. Importantly, this process encourages greater compassion and empathy. As your vibration increases, you develop a more expansive view of humanity and life's interconnectedness. This often results in a desire to contribute positively to the world around you. Inspiring acts of kindness, service, and understanding, you begin to recognize the shared experience of all beings and feel motivated to support healing on a collective level. Ultimately, a vibrational upgrade is a sign that you are evolving beyond your previous limitations and awakening to a more enlightened state of existence. It invites you to embrace change, release old patterns, and open yourself to the infinite possibilities of spiritual growth. As you continue on this path, you'll find that your life becomes richer, more joyful, and more aligned with the deepest truths of your soul. This transformation is a journey, not a destination. Each step forward brings new levels of awareness and peace, confirming that you are indeed entering a new spiritual level marked by elevated vibration and profound personal evolution.